Our topic is Erickson's psychosocial theory of development. Erickson's stages of psychosocial development is very relevant, highly regarded and meaningful theory. Life is a continuous process involving learning and trials which help us to grow. Erickson's enlightening theory guides us and helps to tell us why. According to Erickson's theory of psychosocial, the first stage is trust versus mistrust. This stage occurs from birth to approximately 18 months of age. During this stage, infants rely on their caregivers to meet their basic needs and provide them with stability and consistency of care. If infants receive consistent, predictable, and reliable care, they develop a sense of trust, which they carry into their later relationships. On the other hand, if their basic needs are not consistently met, they may develop mistrust, suspicion, and anxiety. By developing a sense of trust during infancy, individuals cultivate hope and believe that when faced with challenges, there is genuine possibility that others will provide support and assistance. The second stage is autonomy versus shame and doubt. This stage occurs between the ages of 18 months to approximately 3 years. During this stage, children focus on developing a sense of independence. If they are criticized or overly controlled, they may feel inadequate and dependent on others, leading to shame and doubt. Successfully navigating this stage leads to virtue of will, which involves determination and self-confidence.
So next up is the initiative versus guilt. Um, Supposedly it occurs age 3 to 5. So during the initiative versus guilt stage, typically occurring between ages of 3 to 5, children start to assert themselves more actively. This stage is marked by a newfound sense of independence and curiosity as children explore their environment and engage in various activities. Erickson believed that during this stage, children begin to develop a sense of purpose and initiative by taking on new tasks and challenges. Through these experiences, they learn to set goals, make decisions, and take responsibility for their actions. However, if their attempts at autonomy are met with criticism or punishment, they may develop feelings of guilt and indicacy instead. So, example, let's say a 4-year-old child named Sarah wants to help her parents bake cookies. She enthusiastically grabs ingredients and utensils, eager to participate. As she tries to pour flour into the mixing bowl, some spills onto the counter. Nausik ko no ang harina. And then, Sarah's parents might view as a mess and scold her for being careless. Kasaban siya siyang mama, kay lagi nagugaw-hugaw siya, or kanang wala siya naghinay. If this happens repeatedly, Sarah might start to feel guilty about trying to help and become hesitant to take initiative in the future. So, murag mafeel na ni Sarah nga murag magdodon siya sa iyang mutabang mo siya because basin mo na po'y mahitabo balik, sab-an na po siya, og na siya may mong sayop. But, on the other hand, if Sarah's mo na to'y part nga makafeel siya guilt. On the other hand, if Sarah's parent praise her for eagerness to help and gently guide her on how to pour the flour more carefully, like ingnan si Sarah nga sunod nak dili maghinay, like guidan siya unsay saktong buhaton sunod nga ug may tabo manggali to para malikayan nga may tabo to balik nga to. Sarah will feel encouraged and supported. She will continue to take initiative in other activities, learning from her mistakes and developing a sense of confidence in her ability. So, may mo na si Sarah dili siya mahadlok nga mosuway og laing mugana siya mutabang-tabang because she believes nga kanang if na kay sayop magsayop manggali ka dapat next time para sakto imong sayop so mananay initiative. So, the virtue of purpose in children is closely linked to their ability to explore within limits and make choices with support. When children are encouraged to explore, they develop a sense of self confidence and purpose as they navigate their interests and passions. Success in this stage involves finding a balance between taking individual initiative and collaborating with others. By allowing children to explore within boundaries and providing support along the way, they can develop a strong sense of purpose and self assurance that will serve them well in their personal and academic endeavors. Next one is industry versus inferiority. So, during Erickson's industry versus inferiority stage, which occurs between ages 5 to 12, children are focused on developing a sense of competence and mastery in various areas. This stage is characterized by a desire to accomplish tasks and achieve goals, whether in academics, sports, or other activities. Children strive to demonstrate their abilities and receive recognition for their accomplishments. For example, let's consider a 7 years old named Alex who is passionate about drawing. Alex spent hours practicing and refining their artistic skills, creating colorful and imaginative artworks. When Alex proudly shows their drawings to their parents, the parents respond with enthusiasm and praise, displaying the drawings on the fridge and encouraging Alex to continue exploring their talent. As a result of their positive reinforcement, Alex developed a sense of industry. They feel confident in their artistic abilities and are motivated to continue drawing and improving. This sense of competence spills over into other areas of Alex's life as they approach tasks with a belief in their ability to succeed. On the other hand, if Alex's parents dismiss their drawings as insignificant or criticize their efforts, Alex may start to doubt their artistic abilities. They may feel inferior and hesitant to pursue their passion for drawing for fearing failure and rejection. The virtue of competency stems from achieving success in one's developmental stages, where encouragement and reinforcement play crucial roles. When individuals are supported and praised for their competence during this stage, they develop a strong sense of confidence in their abilities to accomplish goals. This confidence lays on foundation for future achievements, fostering a mindset of resilience and determination. By acknowledging and nurturing competency in individuals, we empower them to navigate challenges with confidence and strive for excellence in various aspects of their lives.
Number 5, identity versus real confusion. The fifth stage of the Erikson theory of social development is identity versus role confusion, and it occurs during adolescence about 12 to 18 years. During this stage, adolescents search for a sense of self and personal identity through an intense exploration of personal values, beliefs, and goals. In Erik Erikson, stage of identity versus role confusion, teenagers engage in a true exploration of themselves to establish their identity and self-concept. And to struggle with this process and experience under uncertainty, they may develop a weak sense of self and feel confused about their future. Erikson emphasized the importance of adolescents exploring their sexual and occupational identities during this stage to establish a strong and balanced sense of self for the future. So, virtue fidelity. In Erikson theory, the virtue associated with unsuccessfully navigating the identity versus role confusion stage is fidelity. This means adolescents who successfully establish their identity possess a strong sense of self and can stay true to their beliefs and values even when faced when, with differing perspective from others. Erickson suggests that forming a solid sense of self is crucial before one can engage in successful intimate relationships. Fidelity involves committing to one's authentic selves while also respecting and accepting the differences in others. If a person fails to develop a clear self concept during adolescence, they may struggle with feelings of loneliness and emotional isolation in adulthood as they lack a strong foundation upon which to build meaningful connection with others. So number 6, during the intimacy versus isolation stage, occurring from 18 to 40 years, individuals strive to form close relationships and commitments outside their family. Successfully navigating this stage involves learning to share oneself with others, while fear of intimacy of commitments can lead to feeling of isolation and depression. So virtue and love successfully completing this stage means feeling feeling safe and caring deeply in close relationships like with friends or a partner. It's about being commitment and feeling love.
Number 7. Generativity versus stagnations. 14 to 60 years. Generativity versus stagnations is the seventh of eight stage of Erik Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. Generativity refers to making your mark on the world through creating or nurturing things that will outlast as you as individuals. So, Erik Erikson's psychosocial development theories focus on the stage of generativity and stagnation, focusing on creating lasting impact on the world. Generativity involves finding your life's work of contributing to the developments of others through activities such as development of meaningful career, career volunteering, and monitoring. If you do not master generativity, you may you may experience stagnations and feel as though you are not leaving a mark on the world in meaningful ways. So, generativity involves finding one's life work and contributing to others' development through meaningful activities like career developments, volunteering, and mentoring, preventing stagnations and meaningful impact. Virtue care. Success as the stage late of feelings of usefulness and accomplishment. During this stage, you might be contributing to the next generations or caring of other in some ways. Meaningful or productive works that contribute positively to society will lead to virtues of care. So success is the stage leads to feelings of usefulness, accomplishment, and contributing positively to society, fostering the virtues of care and contributing to the next generation. Ego integrity versus despair. Age 65 to death. Ego integrated versus despair is the eighth and final stage of the Erik Erikson stage theory of, psychosocial development. These stages begin at approximately age 65 and ends to death. As you can enter this stage of life, you will tend to slow down your productivity and explore life as the retired person. So, Erik Erikson's eighth stage is ego integrity versus despair, begins at age 65 and ends at date, characterized by slow productivity and retirement exploration. It's during this time that you will contemplate your accomplishment and accept your life's path. Erikson described ego integrity as the acceptance of one's and only life cycles of something as some things that had to be. So, ego integrity as described by Erikson involved contemplating one's accomplishment and accepting one life cycles as a necessary part of one life. If you are not successful at this stage, you may feel as if your life has been waste. You might focus on what could have, should have, and could have been. You might face an end of your life with feelings of bitterness, depressions, and despair. So, unsuccessful individuals may feel their life has been waste, focusing on what could have been, leading to be bitterness, depressions, and despair at the end of their life. Eric Erikson believed if you are see your life as unproductive, you feel guilt about your past, or feel that you did not accomplish your life goals, you will develop despair, depressions, and hopelessness. It is important this stage to clean up your feels unfinished and unhealed from the past, and offer the legacy of your life wisdom to your loved ones or the world. So, Erikson emphasized the importance of addressing past guilt and unfulfilled goals to present despair, depressions, and hopelessness, and to pass on life wisdom to loved ones or the world, virtues or wisdom. Success is the stage will lead to virtues of sharing your hard-earned wisdom with the peoples that you have loved beyond. At this stage, you will feel a need to create the nurture things that will outlast you, often having means to creating positive change that will benefit other people in your life. Wisdom enabled to look back of your life with a sense of closures and completeness, knowing that you did the best so that you will accept that whatever fair. So, successful stage leads to be virtues of sharing wisdom with loved ones and creating lasting positive change. Wisdom allow from closing and completeness allowing one to accept that without fear.
The topic for today is Kohlberg's stage of moral development. Objective: at the end of this lesson, you should be able to cite how the theory of moral development can be applied to your work as a teacher later on. Introduction: individuals, when confronted by situations where they need to make moral decisions, exercise their own ability to use moral reasoning. Lawrence Kohlberg was interested in studying the development of moral reasoning. He based his theory on the findings of Piaget in studying cognitive development. Our ability to choose right from wrong is tied with our ability to understand and reasoning logically. Kohlberg's theory of moral development na gitawag diri og label and description. Number 1, sa label. Preconventional label. Moral reasoning is based on the consequence and result of the act, not on the whether the act itself is good or bad. Sa description, punishment and obedience. One is motivated by fear of punishment. We will act in order to avoid punishment. Number 2, mutual benefit. One is motivated to act by the benefit that one may obtain later. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
Conventional moral reasoning is based on the conventions or norms of society. This may include approval of the other's law and order. conventional moral reasoning is based on conventions or norms, includes seeking approval from others, following the law, and abiding by societal expectation. Moto'y conventional. Then, ang post-conventional moral reasoning is based on enduring or consistent principles. It is not just recognizing the law, but the principles behind the law. Ang post-conventional moral reasoning is based on enduring or consistent principles. Involves understanding and principles behind the law, not just obeying the law itself. There are 6 levels, and ang duha ka levels kay gi-report na ni Mr. Michael Alves. Social approval. One is motivated by what others expect in his behavior. Good boy, good girl. The person acts because he or she values how or she will appear to others. He or she gives importance on what people will think or say. Social behavior is this level of moral reasoning is based on seeking approval from others and conforming to societal expectations or norms. Individuals at this level may make decisions based on what is socially acceptable or what will make them look good in the eyes of others. The fourth is law and order. One is motivated to act in order to uphold law and order. The person will follow the law because it is the law. Ang law is this level focuses on following laws and regulations set by authorities to maintain order in society. Individuals at this level may base their moral decisions on the legal framework and the importance of upholding rules for social stability. And the fifth is social contract. Laws that are wrong can be changed. One will act based on social justice and the common good. Ang social contract is this level involves understanding that laws can be changed for the greater good and acting based on principles of social justice. Individuals at this level may consider the implications of laws on society as a whole and advocate for changes that align with ethical principles. The last is universal principles. This is associated with the development of one's conscience, having a set of standards that drives one to possess moral responsibility to make social changes regardless of consequences to oneself. Examples of persons are Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King Jr. The universal principles ay this level of moral reasoning is characterized by adherence to enduring moral principles that apply universally regardless of societal norms or laws. Individuals at this level prioritize ethical values such as justice, fairness, and human rights, and make decisions based on these universal principles. These levels reflect different stages of moral development, with individuals progressing from more external sources of moral guidance, such as social approval and laws, to internalized principles that guide ethical decision-making.
Lesson 5, Vygotsky's Sociocultural Theory. Plaget and Vygotsky. Vygotsky worked on his theory around the same time as Plaget in between 1920s and 30s, but they had clear differences in their views about cognitive development. There has differences between Plaget and Vygotsky. Plaget is more individual and focused. Second, believed that there are universal stages of cognitive development. Third, did not give much emphasis on language. While Vygotsky is more on social and focused. Second, did not propose stages but emphasized on cultural and factors in cognitive development. And last is stress the role of language in cognitive development.
Social interaction. Vygotsky believed that effective learning occurs through social participation, with the social context of learning being essential. Parents, teacher, and other adult in the learner's environment all play a role in explaining, modeling, assisting, giving direction, and providing feedback to the learners. Fair also contribute by cooperating and collaborating to enhance the learning experience. Social interaction. The text is talking about how people learn best when they are involved in social activities. Vygotsky, who has a psychologist, believe that the improvement and the people around us have a big impact on our ability to learn. Cultural function. Vygotsky emphasized the importance of cultural in shaping a child's cognitive development. He examined how a culture belief about education and early childhood training can impact a child's experience and learning. Cultural function. Vygotsky was a psychologist who believed that culture is really important for how kids learn and grow. Example is, if a child grows up in a family where they speak two languages, they might be better at understanding language. Language is a tool that enables learners world around them. It also helps them solve problems and serve a social function. However, language also has an important individual function, as it allows learners to regulate and reflect on their own thinking. This text is talking about how language can help people learn new things. When you know a knowledge, you can communicate with others. For example, if you are learning a new subject in school, reading books or articles on the topic in your own language.
Zone of proximal development, that difference between that a child accomplish along the she can accomplish with the guidance of other more knowledgeable other. Meiko is what Vygotsky refers to as zone of proximal development. The zone reference learning opportunity where a knowledgeable adult such as a teacher or parents or a more advanced peer can assess the child development. Ang iyahadayang Vygotsky zone of proximal development refers to the learning opportunity where a knowledge adult such as a teacher or parents can guide a children's development.
Lesson 6. First of all, Brunfer-Breiner's ecological theory views child development as a complex system of relationships affected by multiple levels of the surrounding environment, from immediate setting of family and school to broad cultural values, laws, and custom. Moreover, it points out the widening spheres of influence that shape at every individual from her immediate family. Brunfer-Breiner's ecological model has a structure of environment. First is microsystem. Is the layer nearest the child. First, microsystem. Is the layer nearest the child. It comprises structure which the child directly interact with. It includes structures such as one's family, school, and neighborhood. The second is the mesosystem. This layer serves as the connection between the structure of the child microsystem. For example, the mesosystem will include the link or interaction between the parents and the teacher, or the parent and health services, or the community and the church. The third is exosystem. This layer refers to the bigger social system in which the child does not function directly. And the fourth is the macrosystem. This layer is found in the outmost part of the child environment. The macro system include the cultural values, custom, and laws. The belief system contained in the one's macro system permits all the interaction in the other layer and reaches the individual. And the lastly is the chrono system. The chrono system covers the element of time as the release to a child environment. This involves patterns of stability and change the child life. This involves whatever the child does is characterized by an orderly, predictable pattern, or whatever the child is subjected to sudden change in routine.
The role of schools and teachers. Bronfenbrenner's theory reminds the school and the teachers of their very important role. If there's a lack of support, care and affection from the home, if there's a serious breakdown of the basic relationships in a child's life, what can the school, the teachers in particular do? This theory helps teachers look into every child's environmental system in order to understand more about the characteristics and needs of each child, each learner. So, Bronfenbrenner's theory reminds sa mga eskwelahan, sa mga teachers nga importante ang role nila sa every students, sa mga estudyante, nga unsay angay nilang mga buhaton, mga nga angay mapalambo ang isa ka estudyante nga nangihanglan sila. And schools and teachers' crucial role is not to replace the lack in the home, if such exists, but to work so that the school becomes an environment that welcomes and nurtures families. Bronfenbrenner also stressed the society should value work done on behalf of children at all levels, and consequently value parents, teachers, extended family mentors, work supervisors, and legislators. Ang eskwelahan o ang mga teachers is wala nila kuhay ang mga estudyante o role gani sa mga ginikanan nga kinahanglan sa mga bata nga kailangan naapod sa ilang balay gani nga dapat ang mga ginikanan po daang mutudlo, di lang kay ang teachers. Tanang palibot nila pwede basta maayo nga pagkada